Welcome, movie watchers, and if this is the first time you guys are on my channel, I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for stopping by. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming videos. Today we're talking about the new Netflix murder documentary series, Night Stalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer. This focuses on Richard Ramirez, dubbed as the Night Stalker, whose highly publicized home invasion spree terrorized the residents of the greater Los Angeles area from June 1984 to August 1985. This is a 4-part documentary series, and I haven't really watched many murder documentary series on Netflix. Last year, I just kind of started to watch whatever I wanted to on Netflix. And that kind of transitions now into 2021. And so here we are talking about Night Stalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer. I'm not going to sit here and say I absolutely love this series because it is really gruesome. It's hard to watch. It's upsetting. It's disgusting at times. It takes footage from 1984 to 1985. It has news articles. It has interviews with investigators and survivors as well. And then also the trial of Richard Ramirez, and then eventually leading to his death in 2013. This is in chronological order from about the first case to his trial. There was a focus more on the investigators and the survivors rather than actually seeing Richard Ramirez. With only being 4 episodes, the 4th episode really focused on the trial and how popular he was in the media. For the first 3 episodes, you don't see him, but you really do feel his presence and how sinister everything he was doing. From him murdering or raping people, young and old, rich or poor, male or female, whoever it was, he terrorized Los Angeles and parts of San Francisco as well. One thing I do appreciate about this series is the focus on those investigators and those survivors because it paints them as heroes. It really does. The investigators spent many months, many hours away from their family to try to figure out who the Night Stalker was. They put their life at risk to try to find him. And they potentially saved many lives by bringing in the Night Stalker. And by the end of the series, and we do get interviews with them currently, you do feel that they had a hard time doing this. And they had to walk into these houses where people were murdered. There was blood everywhere. There was weapons everywhere. And they had to go into that to try to get any information they could. And by the end of it all, you really do feel that they were heroes, and you do feel that they put their life on the line. And then you have the survivors. You have a woman who was taken from her house when she was 6 years old by Richard Ramirez. And it's interesting to listen to her and see how she had moved forward from that. She has a family, she's married, she accepts everything that had happened. And it's really hard to listen to all of that. And then we get a lot of gruesome images, footage of it all. And the editing is put together nicely. It's all coming in at the right moment, the footage or images or the interviews. But the choice to have it focused on those survivors and investigators really shows the presence of this man and what he did to these people without actually being there. And then we eventually move forward to his trial and how popular he was in newspaper and on the television. There's women who actually wanted to marry him, and they sent him images while he was in jail. He was idolized by a lot of people, and when he was in trial in court, he had no remorse for it at all. You really see how this man was cruel and vicious to many people for over a year. Since he brutally murdered and raped people at nighttime, hence the name The Night Stalker, a lot of the footage and interviews do take place at night to kind of set that tone that everything is really dark. And watching these men sit in these dark rooms being interviewed, and you get the sense that even being interviewed, it's still sinister to listen to the stories that these men and women went through while being in the presence of the Night Stalker. Now, this was a hard series to watch at time. Like I said, it was gruesome. They showed a lot of brutal images. Netflix did not hold back at all when showing things that this guy did. It really showed the urgency for these investigators and anybody to come forth with information to bring Richard Ramirez in. Now, without really seeing any murder documentary series on Netflix, this 4-part series, it moved pretty quick, only about 45 to 48 minutes each per episode, and there's only 4. But it starts off right away. It starts off very strong with the gruesome images and the murders, and then all of the people coming forward. And it really showed how Los Angeles too was growing in the mid 80s. And then on top of that, you had Richard Ramirez. And so a lot of things going on in Los Angeles in the 80s, but the focus of Richard Ramirez in this series showed that this was a top priority for people in Los Angeles to solve the case, bring this guy in, and stop him from murdering people. If you're easily upset over murder cases like this and gruesome images, I would kind of stay away from this series because it was hard to watch. And listening to people share information and listening to these stories, people who lost family members, all of it, it's really upsetting to watch. But also did it in a way that was paying respect to the people who were murdered. They put their names down, but it still felt very sinister. I'm gonna go ahead and give Night Stalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer, a B+. Thank you guys for checking my review for Night Stalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer. Have you guys seen the documentary series? What do you think? But let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming videos. You guys are the best as always. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.